Qatar seems to be in crisis as more Middle Eastern countries sever diplomatic ties with Doha, the nation's capital. Yemen and Libya are the latest countries to join Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates in accusing Qatar of supporting terrorism and meddling in the affairs of other Middle Eastern allies.
These nations have announced plans to withdraw diplomatic staff and air and sea traffic to the country. Talk more about this. We have CBS Radio News military analyst and retired Army Major Mike Lyons, who joins us now with more. All right. Major Mike, how much of a concern is this, not only for the region, but really for the global war against extremism?
Yeah, I think it's a major concern. First of all, it doesn't say much for our relationship with Qatar at this point. The fact that the president virtually severed it with a tweet this morning is a real concern. Did he give the CENTCOM commander a heads up? As we have troops, 10,000 or so troops inside of Qatar at an air base, that is the center of gravity towards the fight on ISIS right now. So it looks as though that he made this deal with the Saudi Arabians to allow them to do this. Now, Qatar is going to be isolated. It's almost like a Berlin Wall they've put up around this country. Food still has to get in. They've got to build stadiums for the upcoming World Cup. The cement trucks are on the border right now, ready to go. So this is a huge issue, both logistically and militarily.
Could the Qatari government retaliate against us in some way?
Well, I'm not sure what they could do other than to dismiss and to expel the soldiers there and the sailors, shut down the airbase. That would create a challenge for CENTCOM as it's navigating the war right now. The ground war inside of Raqqa is on. It started in the last 48 hours as the militia troops are trying to take back that city. And the center of gravity is coming all out of CENTCOM headquarters forward, which is in Doha. So, again, it is the worst possible time to do this.
President Trump on Twitter today took credit for this growing rift. You mentioned that was a damaging tweet. Does there seem to be substance behind it? Does he deserve credit for it?
Well, look, the bottom line is our relationship with Qatar is problematic. They do play both sides of the coin. Since the emir there took over in the mid-90s, he's been trying to punch up above his weight. They've created the Al Jazeera network. That initially was a communication channel for terrorist groups, and they've tried to expand that now to become more legitimate. But they do have a relationship with the Iranians, who now have committed also to supply food to them. They play a lot of different angles. Now, we could have taken care of that, again, with diplomatic back channels and not globally through one tweet by the president.
But is there proof that the Qataris are supportive or somehow, whether it's financially or not, to extremist groups? Is there proof of that?
There is. There's billion-dollar payments, in fact, that go to Iran. And again, in that part of the world, money, once it's made in cash, gets lost. There have been connections from the Qatari government to Hamas as well. And again, think about where they started from. I mean, the early Al Jazeera Arabic network was really used by Osama bin Laden to communicate a lot of the things that they were doing back then. So there's no question that this is a problematic relationship from the beginning, but it was an alliance. And in fact, the reason why the Qataris allowed the airbase on their land was because when Saudi Arabia kicked this off, they thought it would be insurance. They thought the United States would always back them. This sends a very bad signal to other allies who believe that the United States is on their side.
What are the possible resolutions to what we see as a growing crisis?
Let's hope it happens quickly, and let's just hope these are extremes. They've got about, let's say, 10 to 14 days to come up with some kind of solutions. One of the things that the Arab nations want to have happen is they want to shut down the Al Jazeera network. They want to take that revenue source away from them. Qatar exports liquefied natural gas, highest per capita per citizen in the world, very rich country. So that, I think they're going to try to punish them and keep their economics down to the point they must commit never to fund these terrorists. And they're also going to want to change their relationship with the Iranians, but I don't see that happening.
And that seems to be the key here, right? That relationship with Iran.
This whole thing is coming down between two poles. In the old days, you had East versus West, two superpowers. What's happening now in the Middle East is this polarity of Shia Sunni, Iran versus Saudi Arabia, two powers that want to be hegemonic. They want to control all the things in the region there. The Egyptians have lined up aside the Saudis. There still could be a conflict there as, again, the Kurds create another whole potential conflict as you look over the horizon.
All right, so let's talk about this air base. We know it's the largest military air base in the Middle East for the United States, and that this is a hub for operations in Afghanistan, in Iraq. I mean, look, this president is pledging to destroy ISIS. How do we do that without this base? Or how do we move forward without this base? Or do we just keep it there? I mean, I don't understand how we move forward here.
Well, Secretary Mattis has said it's business as usual. I think over time that's going to create a challenge as, again, getting equipment in and out of that place is a challenge as the Qatari Airlines has been shut down, all the logistics that go with that. So I'm sure they're making plans to move it, possibly to Kuwait, because again, it's the CENTCOM commander's forward operating post in the region. Leaves Saudi Arabia, goes there, was well established. We spent also lots of money, billions of dollars, making that a world-class facility. And if we have any hiccup in this fight against ISIS, it could allow ISIS to regain momentum back.
All right, Major Mike Lyons, thank you so much for your insight.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.